I'm Maron, that's my last name, but I'm Marc Maron. I live here alone with Monkey, Boomer, and LaFonda. They're cats. I had a wife, two actually. They're not dead. Well, they're dead to me. Well, actually, I'm dead to one. The other one I could probably get back.
Why are you telling me this?
All right, from suicide in the garage to a sitcom. Now that is how the life of comedian Marc Maron has rolled in the past few years. His WTF podcast gets about 2.5 million monthly downloads, and he's going to be playing himself in a new IFC show debuting next month. Wall Street Journal's entertainment correspondent Don Steinberg has been talking to him, is with us now to tell us how it all unfolded. Now, Don, the success of Marc Maron originated in a very dark place, literally and figuratively. Where was he in life before this podcast, WTF, took off?
He was in a bad place mentally. He was going through a very tough divorce and feeling like he wasn't doing as well as he had been in the comedy business. He was in his garage and thinking about the worst, and got this podcast going, and it really changed his life.
And how will this new IFC sitcom Maron mimic his real life?
It's sort of an exaggerated, crustier, crankier version of himself, the way that Louis C.K. does, and Larry David and Seinfeld before that. They play these kind of weirdo versions of themselves. So it's kind of his own adventures, some of the stuff that podcast fans will already know about.
With the success that he's having right now, I mean, with all of the fans of this podcast, with this show, when you spoke to him, could you tell if he still sort of tasted the edges of his former depression? And did that depression fuel his creativity as it does for so many artists who bare their souls most brilliantly when they're sad?
Yeah, what he does well as a comedian, he'll encounter a part of life and kind of just chew on it and roll it around in his mind until he figures out exactly what bothers him about it, and how he can articulate that in a great way, which is wonderful for a comedian. Not so great if you're in a relationship with somebody, or not so great for necessarily being happy about the world. So yeah, he's maintained that, I think, even though he's been doing well, very well lately.
Don, I wonder, beyond this new show, what other Maron ventures are in the works out there? Because when it rains good fortune or bad fortune, it usually pours good fortune or bad fortune.
Yeah. He's got a book being published, his memoir, at the end of this month, called Attempting Normal. And he's taping a special for Netflix that's going to be available there. So yeah, he's just kind of blowing up.
All right. He's a funny guy, too. I've watched some of his stuff. Appreciate you being with us, Don.
Thanks, Wendy.
Thanks.